Greetings, my fellow freedom lovers, sovereign thinkers, of this podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful, swampy Mangrove of South Florida. And today's date is Friday, September 15th, 2017. Yes, it looks like there's some another London bombing that occurred. And of course, still like a search warrant investigation on what happened in Hollywood, the nursing home. Looks like at first it was the FPL's fault, but now they're saying the power were on, but the AC unit was dismantled or malfunctioned. So who's responsible for it? In addition, and of course today they had the removal of Robbie E. Lee's statue being taken out of Dallas Park. Welcome, Brave New World 101. To be dumbed down, stagnant, and happy, to desecrate on your heritage, individualism, and culture. Precisely. And other areas as well. You got a lot of folks out there who want to go and just complain about the whole little pompous parody and all that good stuff. So, truth of the matter is, hey, I think we need to just keep on going and just keep fulfilling. Alright, well, we're at CJ's Java Lounge, located at 400 Southwest 1st Avenue, Suite 1, along the beautiful new river of Fort Lauderdale. Southwest section of the Andrews Avenue Bridge. And hey, this is how you gotta look at the world, my friends. So it's still a little hot out there, but we gotta do the burns and all that good stuff. I like when people's wearing outside food here, pretty damn rude. Hate to be disrespectful, but that's a complete turn off. So, I think it's the first thing we're going to be talking about. What's going on in Houston is they're going to be actually having some mosquito spray, some poisonous stuff in the area that actually kills bees. And let's just check this out, my friends. And this one here came from Derek Rose. He does Freedom of Conscience and Houston Free Thinkers. Alright, it says here, Houston prepared to be sprayed by bee-killing chemicals to fight mosquitoes. On the pesticides and all that. On Thursday night, over 600,000 acres of Houston will be sprayed with controversial chemicals with the potential to kill millions of bees and potentially harm the local population. Houston area health officials are working with the U.S. Air Force to conduct an aerial spray operation on Thursday night in an attempt to fight a possible influx of disease-carrying mosquitoes following flooding from Hurricane Harvey. However, residents fear the spraying of the chemical known as D-brom or Naled. Ooh, I remember I talked about that thing called Naled. They did that on South Florida, so interesting. Hell yeah. That tells you how much they really love you out there, Houston. May cause unintended health consequences. The Air Force will be flying modified C-130 cargo planes out of Kelly Air Force Base in San Antonio in an operation which may take more than 1 day. According to a press release from the Harris County Public Health Department, the insecticide D-brom, EPA approved. Yeah, EPA approved. So it tells you, people complain about shutting these bureaucratic entities down, but it's okay to spray this, right? It is routinely used for aerospray operations to combat mosquito-borne disease and will be used during the spray operation in Harris County. D-brom is considered safe for the environment and is applied by licensed applicators according to the label instructions. I'm sorry. I never heard so much insulting my intelligence in a long time. So what I'm going to be doing with that, I'm going to add that to the footnotes of this article pertaining to Naled. And as I recall, it will be from the Cornell.com. Is it Cornell? Yeah, Cornell.com. Exactly. So I'm going to definitely add that to the memo. Extension Toxicology Network. You can actually see this for yourself. The majority of spraying will take place in northern and southern Harris County, although the HCPH says D-brom is considered safe for the environment. A recent study has caused concern over the potential health effect on babies researchers at the University of Michigan found that 9-month-old babies in China who had the highest perinatal exposure to DBROM scored 3 to 4% on lower motor skills tests, including small movements of hands, fingers, face, and feet when compared to children with the lowest exposure. In addition, in 2012, the European Commission concluded that type 18 biocontrol products containing Naled pose a potential and unacceptable risk to human health and the environment. Lucky Houston's health officials recommended to Houstonians concerned about exposure stay inside. For residents concerned about exposure during the aerospray operation, HCPH recommends individuals stay indoors during an evening aerial application in the treated areas as a precaution. Yeah, so let's just kill your plants, kill your bees, and kill your health. That's such the bureaucratic way, the tyrannical way, right? The statement goes on to say that beekeepers may wish to cover the colonies to prevent bees from exiting during treatment. The reason the HCPH makes this recommendation could due to the previous deaths of millions of bees as a result of spraying DBROM. In the late 2016, officials in Dorchester County, South Carolina conducted a similar aerial spraying operation to fight mosquitoes who might be carrying the Zika and West Nile viruses, which is monumental lie, of course. The following day, residents woke up of millions of dead honeybees. Yeah, let's just trade it in. Go government, please help us. My bee yard looks like it's been nuked. Justice Heat. Juanita Stanley, co-owner of Flower Bee Town Bee Farm and supplied to the Post and Courier. Stanley estimated she lost roughly 2.5 million bees and 46 different hives on her farm. Houston, a Delaware organization, released a statement regarding their concerns about aerial spraying of insecticides, permethrin, and DBROM in southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana. 2 insecticides to be used each pose risk to people and all animals who inhabit the large sensitive wetlands and aquatic ecosystems that would be affected by mass spraying from aerosols. Specifically, the Houston Outbound says fish toxicity is a risk from both chemicals that are a risk of inhalation and ingestion by birds and humans. The unwise and destructive aerial spraying of permethrin and DBROM have not been shown to be very effective and are aimed at solving temporary problems while causing long-term negative effects on people and wildlife. Unfortunately, it seems as if the spraying will continue to go on schedule. This is yet another example of politicians and bureaucrats using the population as their own experiment. They make decisions which have the potential to affect the health of the environment, the animals, and the human population of Houston without consulting the people of Houston. Would you like to voice your concern for the spraying program? Please call 713-440-4800. He's absolutely correct, Mr. Bros. The Country of Resistance, that's the name of the site. And of course, we got stuff for Houston free thinkers. Good stuff, man. I have to really give him a lot of credit. But yeah, this is such a dangerous spray, and I have talked about this like the last couple of years about how bad Naled is. So I'm going to add that to the footnotes to make sure that it can really be impregnated, you know. So, but the fact is, they want to spray all this crap. They don't want you to grow marijuana, but they want to have you spray this garbage. Look, if you really want to do something on fighting mosquitoes, learn natural remedies. Okay, garlic juice and lemon skin, liquid, dilute it in water and all that. That really could fight. That's a good natural mosquito repellent. It's being used. I learned this when I was in New Hampshire. I learned it from a friend of mine, a good man who served in Navy SEALs. He was a Vietnam veteran. Gave me that rundown, and you know what? It was very well done. 28 years ago I've done this. So I recommend that. And do your homework as well on insect repellent in a natural way. Not the stuff you see in Deepwood Off or other petrochemical companies, because some of them you get infected into. There's other places you use that insect repellent, they will eat you alive. I would recommend everyone in that area of Houston and even along southwest Louisiana, along the coastline, said, hell no, don't spray this garbage on my environment and my realm for my family, friends, loved ones, etc. Just another sham saying government knows best. Good grief. Remember, Monsanto was the inventors of Agent Orange. Look what happened. All sides, the people who fought the Vietnamese and vice versa, all suffered from it. And the EPA approved it. It tells you why the EPA is just another sham, and all you so-called climate change fanatics don't want to do with the EPA. Explain this to me. Look at the bigger picture, will ya? Okay, so sorry about that. I'm gonna add Naled and to this. Sorry about that. I'll be back. Cool. So this one it came out a few days ago, and I never really taken an issue looking at it. This is from Activist Post as well by Aaron Kazel, I think it is, and Creative Commons, the original from Creative Commons. So it's pretty cool. Some of these sites you put links in there, and it's, and it shares a lot of stuff. And this is interesting here because has here CIA whistle. It says here, high-ranking CIA agent blows whistle on the deep state and shadow government. And as it reads here, CIA whistleblower Kevin Shipp has emerged from the wolves' den to expose the deep state and the shadow government, which he calls two entirely separate entities. Shadow government controls the deep state and manipulates our elected government behind scenes. Shipp warned in a recent talk at geoengineeringwatch.org conference. Shipp has a series of slides explaining how the deep state and shadow government functions, as well as the horrific crimes they're committing against U.S. citizens. Some of the revelations the former CIA anti-terrorism counterintelligence officer revealed included that Google Earth was set up through the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and Incutel. Indeed, he is correct. The CIA NGA owned the company Google, acquired Keyhole Inc., paying an undisclosed sum for the company to turn to its tech into what we had known as Google Earth. Another curious investor in Keyhole Inc. was none other than virtual capital firm Incutel, run by CIA, according to a press release at the time. Shipp also disclosed that the agency, known as the Joint Special Operations Command, GSOC, is a president's secret army, which he can use for secret assassinations, overturning governments, and things that the American people don't know about. FBI warrantless searches violate the Fourth Amendment and went with National Security Center, which Shipp noted it enables them to walk into your employer's office and demand all your financial records, and if he or she says anything about them being there, they can put your supervisor in jail or drop a case against themselves using the state's secret privilege law. The top of the shadow government is a national security agency and a central intelligence agency, Shipp said. Well, I'm not too surprised, but this is pretty good so far. Shipp expressed the CIA was created through the Council on Foreign Relations with no congressional approval, and historically the CFR is also tied into the mainstream media, MSM. He elaborated that the CIA was a central node of the shadow government and controlled all other 16 intelligence agencies despite the existence of the DNI. The agency also controls defense and intelligence contractors, can manipulate the president and political decisions, has the power to start wars, torture, initiate coups, and commit false flags attacks. He said, can we say one world order? Absolutely. As Shipp stated, the CIA was created through executive order by then President Henry Truman by the signing of the National Security Act of 1947. According to Shipp, the deep state is comprised of a military industrial complex, intelligence contractors, defense contractors, MIC lobbyists, Wall Street offshore accounts, Federal Reserve, IMF, World Bank, Treasury, foreign lobbyists, and central banks. Hopefully all you folks from the left and the right, Antifa, alt-left, alt-right, freedom haters and all that want us to think for me and wipe my behind, hopefully you all paid attention right now, because you're being duped, you're being a bunch of pawns. In the shocking explosive presentation, SHIP went to express that there are over 10,000 secret sites in the U.S. that formed after 9/11. There are 1,291 secret government agencies, 1,931 large corporations, and over 4,800,000 Americans that he knows who have secrecy clearance, and 854,000 who have top secret clearance. Explain they signed their lives away bound by an agreement. So they pull down the pants, they got it in the rear, they go, yes, master, may I have another. He also detailed how Congress is owned by the military-industrial complex through the Congressional Armed Services Committee. 48 members of Congress giving those members money in return for a vote on a spending bill for the military intelligence budget. Yeah, so when your congressman or woman support these things, go how far you got it from the military-industrial complex. He's touched on what he called the secret intelligence industrial complex, which he called the center of the shadow government, including the CIA, NSA, NRO, and NGA. SHIP further stated that around the secret intelligence industrial complex, you have the big five conglomerate of intelligence contractors: Leidos Holdings, SCRA, CACI, CAIC, and Booz Allen Hamilton. You know that the work they do is top secret and unreported. The whistleblower remarked that these intelligence contractors are accountable to no one, including Congress, echoing the words of Senator Daniel Inouye when he himself blew the whistle on the shadow government during the Iran-Contra hearings in 1987. I remember that too. Ollie North was involved in that. At the time, Inouye expressed that the shadow government had its own funding mechanism, shadowy Navy and Air Force freedom to pursue its own goals, free from all checks and balances and free from the law itself. And there's a 20-second video on that, so check it out, folks, please. SHIP further added the shadow government and elected government were in the midst of a visible Cold War. So SHIP, and he is credible as a whistleblower, because he had the credentials for the CIA, AIM.org wrote. SHIP had held several high-level positions in the CIA. He was assigned as a protective agent for the Director of Central Intelligence, a counterintelligence investigator, a counterterrorism center officer, a team leader protecting sensitive CIA assets from assassination, a manager of high-risk protective operations, a lead instructor for members of the Allied governments as an internal staff security investigator, and a polygraph examiner. He was tasked with protecting the CIA from the foreign agent penetration and the chief of training for the CIA Federal Police Force. Mr. SHIP functioned as program manager for the Department of State, Diplomatic Security, and Anti-Terrorism Assistance Global Police Training Program. He's a recipient of 2 Meritorious Unit Citations, 3 Exceptional Performance Awards, and a Medallion for Overseas Covert Operations. He's the author of From the Company of Shadows, CIA Operations, and the War on Terrorism. I'm going to check that book out, get some clarification. SHIP noted he was working with former NSA whistleblower William Binney, but didn't state what the two were working on together. SHIP is highly credible and may just be the highest level whistleblower. This leak is huge. He has previously mentioned in the New York Times for blowing the whistle on the mistreatment of him and his family when they were put in a mold-contaminated home. He's also mentioned in a WikiLeaks cable during the GIF files that I was able to dig up. And this is the beginning of what's coming forward to end the shadow government and deep state. You can watch Ship's full explosive presentation below. It's like an hour, almost an hour 8 minutes long. And yeah, I'm gonna have to watch this too. And to be very sincere, I'm not really that surprised because a lot of stuff is coming out, and what they're saying here has been verified. So it's why you gotta look at things a lot bigger than what it is, my friends. Even a good example of what happened at Charlottesville was social engineering at its finest. Gladio and COINTELPRO combined, one person says. And I have to agree. All it is divide and rule and distractions. They want us to be not focusing on them. That's how these vampires, psychic vampires, run. So definitely watch the video. I'm gonna do that probably after the show, so I'm gonna check it out. All right, this probably do 2 more here. It's both by American Free Press. Like I said, America's last real newspaper. And now, due with the monument of Robert Lee being removed at Arlington Park, it tells you one thing: they want us to be a bunch of suckasses, dumbed down, numbered, and horror bags. They want to think you're that damn stupid, or they think the Confederacy are bad people. And of course, he had the Confederate flag. He was a racist. Well, check this out. This came from a gentleman named Dave Gahary, okay? Texas Black Back Rebel Monument came out today. Many activists realize stone and marble are not the worst problem facing blacks. Following the government and the mainstream media instigated violence in Charlottesville, Virginia last month, various municipalities across this one great nation are talking and considering taking preemptive steps to remove Confederate monuments from public lands so as not to invoke the wrath of the ascendant terrorist groups Black Lives Matter and the more loosely organized Antifa and the Halcyon Days of these United States. If mass-wearing thugs arrive in any town or city intent on waging war in that community, they were met with the iron fist of law and order. No more. On August 14th, Philip Kingston, who served on the Dallas City Council, took aim at the Robert E. Lee statue and other monuments in the city. Kingston believes monuments to the Confederacy should not be on public land, as reported in an article by the CBS fake news outlet. So biased and hateful have the fake news media become the caption under the photo of Robert of the Lee statue reads, "The Confederate War Memorial in Dallas, Texas is a monument that attempts to glorify the treasonous acts of those who fought to defend slavery on the Confederate side of the American Civil War." What the hell is that? Because the truth of the matter is, he freed his slaves, dummy. Kingston's resolution requires action by September 13th when it passed a citizen-based task force will create to decide the fate of the monuments. Interestingly, the Southern Heritage Destroying Councilman made news in July when the city's chief financial officer sent a memo to Kingston demanding he returned $8,160 of his $60,000 salary because he missed too many council meetings. "I was just busy," Kingston says, as reported by the Dallas Morning News. Some Dallas residents are busy as well, but for a different reason. A predominantly black group led by former city councilwoman Sandra Crenshaw is calling for Dallas Confederate monuments to remain standing, since removing them will not help elevate media alleged racism. And it's interesting what she says, "I am not intimidated about Robert E. Lee statue." Ms. Crenshaw told aforementioned newspaper, "It doesn't scare me. We don't want Americans to think that all African Americans are supportive of this. Some people think they're taking the statue down. It's going to erase racism. Misguided." Thank you. She's right. Naturally, Kingston struck back. We don't want to leave this up a monument that celebrates the very idea that some of us are not equal to others, he said. These monuments distort history. They don't teach history. On cue, Democratic mayor, former Pizza Hut CEO, and ad agency head Mike Rawlins chimed in by stating that white supremacists in Charlottesville were pure evil. One another bend-over Bob owned and spread his butt cheeks to PepsiCo and the New World Order. Thank you there, Mr. Rawlins. He's just another dumbed-down buffoon. American Free Press asked his 9-year-old black Confederate supporter, H.K. Edgerton, for his view on the happening in Dallas and across the country. I applaud the fact they're coming together to oppose the removals of statues, he began. However, I don't like the tone of this message. Instead of saying not intimidated by Robert E. Lee, she should have been very proud of General Robert E. Lee. Probably one of the most admired and respected men of his time and end this time. Edgerton commented on the cultural destroyers. I gotta give him that. He is correct, so I have to back him on that. So it's like pros and cons, but still, I could say, yeah, he's spot on. We have now is a continuation of what these folks did after the war when they sent these northern school teachers to the South London of America, he said, trying to divide and separate black and white folks. The biggest problem is not with black folks, is with the white folk guilt. He said, most of the Black Lives Matter folks I see are young white folks. I've been across this country, and I'll tell you right now, most black folks don't like being used as a weapon of choice to enable this destruction of our heritage and our history. By tearing down these monuments, this looks like Reconstruction all over again. Ooh, that's very well said. He added, I ran into Black Lives Matter, I ran into Antifa in places where I was going to speak. These folks are domestic terrorists, and Black Lives Matter, they thought to be in Houston right now trying to help some black folks. If Black Lives Matter, they ought to be in Chicago trying to help those black folks who are killing each other in record numbers. Hell, David Gary, a former Dave Gary, a frontier submariner in the U.S. Navy, prevailed in the suit brought by the New York Stock Exchange in an attempt to silence him. David is a producer of the upcoming full-length feature film, and attack the U.S. celebrity. See erasingliberty.com or call 850-677-0344 for more information. I believe that's in Florida, Panama, Florida. Man, this is pretty good, man. And like I said, people gotta look at everything about that terrible conflict. I'm still learning about this. Oh, it's over. It shouldn't learn. Please. When I hear dorks like that, they want you to be an idiot, dumb, stagnant, and happy. They want you to belly up. I don't believe in that. I defy all form of tyranny. Don't get me wrong. Some of these other states that had slavery, back then I wasn't too crazy about it. But that thing, the Article 1, Section 9 of the U.S. Constitution made that difference, and it's taking time. Even if you read stuff about the real Lincoln, slave trade demand was dwindling thanks to technology. The cotton gin that was invented by Eli Whitney. Okay? Look him up. So, the whole thing is, my friends, Brave New World 101. We call it cultural Marxism and all that. But the truth of the matter is, my friends, they want to eviscerate heritage, culture, and individualism. That's a fact. You can look it up yourselves. So I gotta give this gentleman credit for standing up for what's right. Texas Black Rebel Monuments. We're going to do one more here from American Free Press, and it came out today as well. And we see one of my favorite Gino-fied organizations, the Anti-Defamation League. Yes, the ones They don't have the courage to stand up to the late Aaron Zellman from the JPFO. Abraham Foxman is nothing more than a bend-over Bob to the New World Order. You know why? There's nowhere that NDF Ministry League's main office is at. The United Nations Plaza in New York. Look it up, my friends. Don't be shy. And this is one here. Came from by John Friend. It's entitled Fighting Hate, Killing Free Speech. Free speech is for us, but not for you. Anti-Defamation League undercutting free expression by indoctrinating mayors, police. The Anti-Defamation League, or ADL, an organization openly hostile to the First Amendment that seeks to advance pro-Israel interests and shut down free expression with often baseless charges of anti-Semitism. That's getting so watered down, it's pathetic. Just like using racist or racism. All right. Has partnered with the United States Conference of Mayors in the wake of the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, in an effort to combat hate and extremism. Marxist buzzwords that are applied to patriotic Americans willing to buck the tyrannical system of political correctness plaguing the West. The United States Conference of Mayors is an official nonpartisan organization representing American cities with a population of exceeding 30,000. More than 300 mayors from the major American cities across the nation have collaborated with the ADL on the project and have pledged to implement 10-point Mayor's Compact to combat hate, extremism, bigotry developed entirely by the subversive anti-American organization. Of course, a New World Order asset. Some of the 10 key initiatives outlined in the compact of rejecting extremism, white supremacy, and all forms of bigotry, as well as patronizing and promoting anti-bias and anti-hate programs, which are developed by the ADL in America's public and private schools. Remember, private schools as well, my friends. Additionally, the compact encourages local residents and community members to report these hate incidences, seeks to strengthen hate crime laws, and promote training for law enforcement officials across the country to respond and to deal with hate. The compact represents an attempt of the ADL to institutionalize its subversive anti-free speech agenda, a major and long-running goal of the anti-American organization. The Unite the Right rally, which was legally organized by leading members of the alt-right, a Brigadier and loose-knit right-wing movement that embraces racial identity and populism while rejecting globalism, multiculturalism, and massive non-white immigration to America and the wider Western world, has been used as an excuse to advance a number of blatantly anti-free speech agendas, including censoring of some alt-right commentators on the internet. The rally was legally permitted, yet faced enormous obstacles from local political leaders in Charlottesville. The entirely distorted narrative spun by the political and media establishment portrayed the alt-right organizers and supporters are as hateful, racist bigots who were determined to violently confront and attack the counter protesters who showed up peacefully demonstrate against the rally. The fake news media and the establishment, political and media pundits, hysterically condemn everyone in the alt-right as violent extremists and terrorists, white supremacists, neo-Nazis, and even Ku Klux Klansmen. Meanwhile, Antifa and other leftist extremists who engage in physical confrontations and violence against the alt-right were portrayed as righteous and honorable protesters, simply attempting to exercise their First Amendment rights. Needless to say, the concept of hate will be identified with the ADL and will, of course, encompass any form of criticism or resistance to its subversive anti-American agenda. What happened in Charlottesville reminds us that all violent hate and racism are very much alive in America in 2017. Tom Cochran, the CEO and director of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, said when the compact was announced, for decades America's mayors have taken a strong position in support of civil rights and opposition to racism and discrimination of all kinds. At this critical time, mayors are doing so again through this compact in an effort to combat hate, extremism, and bigotry in their cities and in our nation. The ADL has played a key role in politicizing and militarizing law enforcement in the United States for decades, and routinely offers training courses for local, state, and federal law enforcement officials and the entities across the country. The ADL openly described itself as the foremost non-governmental organization in the United States that offers law enforcement training on terrorism, extremism, and hate crimes, and the boast that has its trained well over 100,000 federal, state, local, and military law enforcement officers. Law enforcement officials at all levels of government also regularly travel to Israel to receive training and advice from their Israeli occupiers, particularly in the wake of the 9/11 attacks, which many prominent researchers believe the Zionist state played a central role in carrying out further militarizing American law enforcement, as in the case in Israel. This often involves U.S. law enforcement working closely with the Israeli military and police, both of which have been accused of carrying out war crimes against Muslims and Christians in the Holy Land. Interestingly, Anita Gray, a regional director of the ADL in Cleveland, Ohio, admitted in a revealing interview with Cleveland Jewish News shortly after the rally that her organization had been working on the ground and behind the scenes leading up to the during and after the rally in Charlottesville. We remain in close contact with law enforcement, elected officials, community leaders, and others, and continue to provide critical research, resources, and community support. Ms. Gray went on to explain, all of our officers have been working around the clock to respond, inform, and take action. The insidious agenda of the ADL could not be clearer in the aftermath of the Unite the Right rally, an example to stamp out criticism of Israel. I'll tell you this, my friends, I never gave a damn about the Anti-Defamation League for the past 27 years. Never impressed by them. I smelled them. They're a bunch of frauds, hypocrites, and pro-one world order. I used to recall having bought over 500 bumper stickers from the Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership. Stated, the ADL lies about militias, gun control, and Judaism. And the funniest thing about it, Abraham Foxman is nothing more than a wuss, because he never taken the initiative on debating with this honorable man on these topics. Why? Because Aaron Zellman was Jewish. They don't want to see Jews debating, because he would have got his testicles handed to him in his mouth. And I say that out of respect. They are the most dangerous, treasonous organizations in the United States. You think the Ku Klux Klan was bad? The neo-Nazis? They're up there as well. Pro-tyranny at its finest. And I'm not a person to go Jew bashing. That is irrelevant and applicable and a waste of energy. Always get individuals on their actions. This is why the Anti-Defamation League needs to be torn down. The more you learn about this, the better you be and the less you fear. They love, divide, and rule. Charlottesville was a fantastic example. I don't give a damn what side you're on, you're being duped. Great points to talk about. The group, the alt-right, Unite the Right, about immigration, because respectfully, it was being done in a very biased manner. You gotta do it across the board, regardless where they're from. And they haven't really done that in years. At least a good, heck, I could say minimum 60 years, just to be conservative on that. So you have to really don't even fall for their trap, my friends. Because they're nothing more than deceitful parasites that will shun you, even if you're Jewish. They don't care about you. They want to use every single one of us. And kill and try to beat each other up, and they manifest over it. So, like I said, the Anti-Defamation League are liars, deceit, pieces of filth. Cesspool. And they're just one of them, one of the organizations I condemn passionately. Well, hopefully one day you're going to have whistleblowers from the organization will come out and repent and put the truth out. That's going to happen real soon, I guarantee you that. And that is it. I'd like to thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share through your social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or when we send something that's interesting and you want to check out, whatever you do, please address the correspondence with decorum. You can hit me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Tumblr, YouTube, Streams Network, Steam.lifeminds.com, FutureNet.club, or Patreon.com/Loki3. 3 eyes. If you want to be a patron, that'd be great. Totally appreciate it. In addition, you can email me at LokiLuck3@gmail.com or if you're cryptic fan, LokiLuck03@ProtonMail.com. Alright, my friends, that's all for now. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demoniac resistance is helpful to the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves, keep on spreading love, and may your guardian spirits be with you.